coming to you live from the John Hammond Street in Ghana's capital, Accra. Good morning and welcome to the morning news here on TV3. I am Godwin Asideba. Let's take a look at the headlines. Government says calls by labor unions for a declaration of a state of emergency over the Galamsey menace is far-reaching. Meanwhile, labor unions in the country serve notice of a nationwide strike by September 30 if government fails to ban small-scale mining and related activities to check the Galamsey conquer. Ghana Police Service agrees routes with the NDC for their demonstration to all officers of the Electoral Commission due to irregularities in the voters' register. Glad you've made time to join us this morning. Remember, the bulletin is also live on DSTV channel 279. Organized labor has handed government up until September 30 to deal with illegal mining or risk a nationwide strike. The workers want a total ban on all mining activities in the country. That's more.
Organized labor is sounding the alarm over the destructive impact of illegal mining, known as Galamsey, on the nation's water bodies. At a news conference in Accra, Secretary General of the Trade Union Congress, Joshua Ansah, highlighted the concerns of the Ghana Water Company has severely damaged water treatment plants across the country. He urged the government to take swift action.
An order to halt to all forms of mining, that legal or illegal, in forest reserves and around water bodies. The deployment of the police and the military with full orders, and I want to repeat, with full orders, to remove, destroy all mining equipment and other earth-moving equipment around river bodies and in the forest reserves. Establish a special court to persecute the perpetrators of this horrible, heinous crime. Organized labor will urgently embark on a series of demonstrations and a nationwide strike if government fails to address the concerns raised by end of the month, September 2024.
Additionally, Executive Secretary of CLOCSAC and Chairman of the Forum, Isaac Bampuado, condemned the involvement of political appointees and politicians in illegal mining activities.
This one, we are serious. You cross us, we'll roll over you, we'll crush you. This Galamsey menace has not got any political color. It's ourselves, we the people, we are going to suffer.
Deputy Secretary General of the Ghana Federation of Labour, Ken Kumsin, also added his voice, calling for an immediate halt to Galamsey.
President sworn an oath to protect our lives and protect all of us. Today, the call is that, President, you must live up to your constitutional obligation, a state of emergency, because this is an emergency.
Other unions, NAT, GAU, a local government workers union, expressed grave concern about the impact of Galamsey.
We are destroying their head. We are destroying this one. Now look at the other aspect of it. After destroying this one, then we ask the children when they come to school, say we give them one nutritious meal. Which meal can restore something that mercury has damaged? We are giving His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Ghana, up to the ending of this month. And believe you me, we are now between life and death. We refuse to die. We refuse to die. And whatever we can do for us and for the children yet unborn, every year, the number that I've given you, 880,000 of them, we are not only fighting for ourselves, we are fighting for our children.
The fight is not just an economic fight, but it's also a social fight to save ourselves for today and then save the crops that we grow for export, save the crops that we grow for consumption.
About MPP, it's not about the NDC, it's not about whoever comes to power. Yes, of course, you nominated me to be the MC, the DC, or take charge of a particular committee. Let me do my duty. I don't need that kind of political interference. Let's allow them to do their work.
The Media Coalition Against Galamsey is also making a similar demand, serving notice of demonstration should government fail to deal with the menace. My colleague Judith Brown has more.
With each passing day, the devastation worsens. Lands degraded, forests razed, rivers polluted, aquatic life exterminated, miners exploited, and lives lost. The Media Coalition Against Illegal Mining is sounding the alarm, incensed by the government's inaction as the cancer spreads.
The president must declare a state of emergency over our water bodies and get the military to clear everyone found on the water bodies. i.e. mining on the water bodies is illegal. All planned and active mining concessions overlapping with river buffers should be abrogated, and all mining activities within 100 meters buffer of all rivers and streams should be halted immediately by the president. These demands will be reviewed in a fortnight, i.e. 2 weeks, to see what actions have been taken, and our next line of action will be communicated to the media.
Briefing the press, President of the Catholic Bishops' Conference, Most Reverend Matthew Jemfi, explained that Ghanaians can no longer tolerate the lip service of government in the fight against corruption.
We urge the government to prioritize the reclamation of destroyed lands and restoration of polluted water bodies. This process must involve the local communities led by our chiefs and be transparent to ensure the recovery of the environment. We recommend strongly a temporary moratorium on licensed community mining activities now.
Convener of the group, Kenneth Achibe, says the group will embark on a series of demonstrations and strikes if government does not act with urgency.
If we don't act now, we will start licking clay as water. So I think the president ought to hear it. That now we are resolute in our ask. So definitely there are going to be some demonstrations that are going to happen. There's a strike that is going to happen.
As the coalition cries foul, one question echoes. Will Ghana's leaders heed to the warning, or will the lure of gold sacrifice a nation's future? Judith Brown, TV3 News.
Land and Natural Resources Minister Samuel Abujinapo says calls by labor unions for a declaration of a state of emergency are far-reaching and draconian. The minister, however, says government remains committed to dealing with illegal mining in the country.
The comments and interventions of TUC, UTAC, professional bodies, unions, journalists, and Ghanaians are not to be dismissed. That's why I think we should begin from. We should listen to them, and those are views that they have analyzed and put forward, and I intend to engage various professional bodies, including TUCs, and I believe through that we may be able to polish our policy and our approach in dealing with this matter, and we will do so. Now, forest reserves, small-scale mining is not permitted in forest reserves. So the question about illegal small-scale mining in forest reserves, I think it is more about having the right mechanism to prevent such illegalities in our forest reserves. The law doesn't permit small-scale mining in forest reserves. Declare a state of emergency, that is within the bosom of the president, but I find that to be a far-reaching, really, a very draconian measure to take. And so we will engage them, and we will have this conversation. And I believe out of that, we may be able to come up with some consensus which we can work with.
On your election command center this morning, all is set for the NDC's planned demonstration against the Electoral Commission on Tuesday, September 17, 2024. This follows an agreement by the Accra Regional Police Command on the routes and termination of the demonstration. Leadership of the party assured the public of a violent-free protest. Take a look.
Briefing the media, the General Secretary of the National Democratic Congress, NDC, Fifi Vikwete, said the demonstration against the EC is beyond the party. He stressed the country is heading towards a critical election and it is in everyone's interest to ensure that the voters register is credible and trustworthy.
The election ahead of us is one that is about the very soul of our country. So effectively this demonstration is not even about India, it's about Ghana. So we expect every Ghanaian to be part of this demonstration across the regions of the country, because the very credibility of the register that we are going to be using to vote is going to literally determine whatever happens on election day.
After meeting the police high command, both the police and the leadership of the NDC drove to the EC head office to conclude on the termination point for the demonstration. He called on the general public to avail themselves for the protest.
The whole of Ghana, I know we all want the election to happen well and happen in peace, be fair, be transparent. And this is the moment to ensure that we press home those demands and ensure that we have a very credible, register, and ensure that what it is we are looking for that will bring about the transparency is done. So we expect Ghana as a whole to rally with us on 17th September in order for us to press home the demand, in order to have no doubt at all regarding the register that's going to be critically important for the transparency of the election ahead of us.
The NDC has assured that come 17th of this month, the demonstration will be very peaceful, and they charge their supporters not to foment violence or troubles during the day of the demonstration. This is a peaceful demonstration. They are calling to seek for a forensic audit of the voters' register. They want peace on the day of demonstration. And the police has also assured to provide full security so that at the end of the day, Ghana will win. Joseph Armstrong, Gold Alibo, TV3, Accra.
The NDC flag bearer John Dramani Mahama has expressed worry over the lack of dedicated funding for government health infrastructure project Agenda 111, with an initial number of 88 later changed to 111. The government is rolling out these hospitals in all districts to make healthcare accessible. Speaking to journalists in Sunyani and the Bono region, John Dramani Mahama is casting doubt on the completion of even 10 out of the number at the end of tenure of the government.
How they went about the whole thing, and Empo Nyameka say, you know, we started so many projects at the same time. We need dedicated funding for. Nyabebane say, at the end of their term, no, they will leave a lot of uncompleted hospital projects because Mehumbe Brea contracted any site. Oma plaster, no windows yet, no doors, no equipment, nothing. And there's no dedicated funding at Omode, a government of Ghana. But Makase, we're not going to stop any projects. We'll continue. Project we are, of course, we'll let them continue. But we have to create the fiscal space. Senebeya ebetimi afande na ometimi ewie. By the end of their term, they say ombewie even 10 and now 15.
You're still watching the morning news here on TV3 with me, Godwin Asidira. After years of repeatedly pursuing the presidency, seeking to have his name on the ballot paper, Alan Kyerematen may finally be able to see himself on the ballot paper after the Electoral Commission clears him to contest as an independent candidate after the Commission scrutinizes his nomination forms.
11 so far. A lot more to go. 3 more candidates, including 2 independent candidates, Alan Kyerematen and Kyerematen, have put their money where their mouth is and have taken yet another step towards actualizing their aim of occupying the highest office of the land as they filed their nominations. Beaming with confidence, the flag bearer of the NDP, Alhaji Frimpong Mensah, was optimistic about his chances of victory on December 7. Likewise, independent candidate Kyerematen shared a similar confidence.
if we are voted into power, will be the party that is likely to put our nation on the path of stability.
We believe in what we are presenting to Ghana as an alternative to the failed systems that we have seen.
Then came Alan Kyerematen and his delegation, equally certain of their prospects in the upcoming December polls.
Ghanaians are looking for a president who will fight for the interests of Ghana and not for political parties. They are looking for a president who will unite the nation and not divide the nation. They are looking for a president who would establish a government of national unity, a truly representative government, a government for the people, of the people, and by the people. With my record outside government, within government, locally and internationally, in all humility, I believe that I fit that bill.
Kyerematen also took the opportunity to announce his choice for a running mate. Former musician Kwame Danso, who was part of music group Echo and now a legal practitioner, will be his running mate.
I've lived up to my commitments. I said I was going to deliver to you a young person to be my vice presidential nominee. I've done so by nominating a very fine gentleman, a lawyer by profession, a political activist, a broadcast journalist, and someone who has been fighting for you, the young people, by name of Kwame Danso, alias K.O.D.
NCCE says it is strengthening sensitizations of communities to promote transparency during the elections and sustain the peace and stability of the country. Kyerematen Daka reports that NCCE is also cautioning political parties against the use of threatening and foul languages to intimidate opponents during elections.
It is said that a wrong choice of words can shipwreck an electoral process, which could possibly lead to violence affecting communities, especially women and children. According to the Greater Accra Regional Director of the National Commission for Civic Education, NCCE, Frederick Mauli Agbenu, strategic measures have been put in place by the NCCE to engage members of political parties and various communities about indecent rhetorics that could incite political violence.
We are doing a lot of education, especially for first-time voters in schools and in other areas, to make sure that they are inexperienced and they are people who are very technology savvy. And therefore, we are advising them that any information that comes into your device, make sure you fact check before you spread it. Any information that you come across, ask yourself this question: is it true? Is it going to bring about peace, or is it going to bring about a conflict? If it's going to do any of this, then you have to suppress that information before you spread it.
He further emphasized that these transitional times are often wrought with competitive language and rising tensions. Hence, the crucial role journalists have to play to help prevent conflict while contributing to a free, fair elections.
All these things in an election year can actually lead to a combustion, and we can have a serious conflagration on our hands, because when it comes to fake news, for instance, people might believe what is not and may decide to take actions.
Hate speech that is intended to incite hostility, discrimination or violence falls under the type of expression that international law mandates must be restricted. Therefore, a key factor when dealing with hate speech cases is a requirement for there to have been an intention to incite action that is violent. Kyerematen, TV3 News, Accra.
Civil society organizations have launched a monitoring mission to track expenditures, abuse of state resources, and vote buying in the 2024 presidential elections. The project will collaborate with the Office of the Special Prosecutor to ensure that state assets are not used for personal interests.
The CSOs, comprising Ghana Integrity Initiative, Ghana Anti-Corruption Coalition, the Center for Democratic Development, CDD Ghana, and partners noted The problem of the rising cost of party and campaign financing has gotten worse over the last 3 decades as the quality of governance has deteriorated. The group is embarking on a project to monitor campaign spending, abuse of incumbency and vote buying for comprehensive party and campaign financing reform in Ghana.
We need to have reforms, and those reforms should speak specifically to certain sanctions that apply to people who use public platforms to campaign for themselves. This happens. We see DCEs standing on commissioning grounds to say, you see the way the president has done very well. Immediately the person says that the person has used the political party, the public platform to execute political agenda, and so we are able to say this is a clear instance of abuse of incumbency.
CDD Ghana 2021 report revealed that the cost of contesting a parliamentary seat from aspiring to candidate is estimated at $693,000 and a presidential candidate is estimated to spend $100 million as of 2021. Senior election specialist at International Foundation for Electoral Systems, IFES Ghana, Gilbert Sam, called for a comprehensive reform of party and campaign financing regime.
We think that if we go that way, then our democracy is becoming exclusive for some class of people, and we think that is not democracy. Because if a woman or a young person cannot raise certain amount of money, that means that the person cannot participate in our electoral process and win election and become part of our decision-making process.
The project aims to generate empirical evidence and data on the incidence of campaign financing activities, increase public awareness of the role of money in elections and the current campaign finance regime by collaborating with law enforcement agencies.
Away from your election command center, legal practitioner Efua Gate is promising a United Ghana Bar Association after being elected as the professional body's first female president. She beat off competition from Agbesi Jakpasu in her third bid for the presidency. She assured lawyers of her commitment to improving the fortunes of the association.
The bar has spoken. And from this day forward, it is a united bar in service. No divisions, no factions, it is over. It is time that we put our shoulders to the plow and work to deliver what we believe should be the bar in progress. This indeed is something new, something novel, that the bar, for the first time, has entrusted leadership to the ladies. And I know that with God's help, we shall make you proud. We shall serve you with all our ability. And we shall make sure that you will never, never regret this choice.
And that's how we end the morning news here on TV3 with me, Godwin Asideba. For more news updates, please log on to 3news.com. See you soon. Bye.
Every moment counts. One team stands ready to deliver the news that shapes our lives.